Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Swords with Sayanta Paul. Last time we began a journey, not into a subject, but into a space where words come alive. Today we take the next step. Let me start with a simple question to all of you. What exactly is literature? Is it just books we study in classrooms? Is it poetry written in fancy language? Or is it stories from the past that no longer matters today? Or is it something much deeper? Something is still alive in our everyday lives. When we hear the word literature, many of us immediately think of textbooks, exams, and authors whose names are hard to pronounce. But literature is not limited to classrooms. Literature is anything that uses language to express human experience in a meaningful way. It can be a poem, it can be a novel, it can be a play, or even a letter, a speech, or a story passed down through generations. At its core, literature is not about form, it is about feeling, meaning, and understanding. Now let's go deeper. Why does literature exist at all? Because humans need more than just information. We need interpretation. Science tells us what something is. Literature tells us what it feels like to be inside it. For example, a historical event can be recorded in facts and dates, but literature asks, how did it feel to live through it? What did people fear, hope, or lose? That emotional truth is what literature captures. Think about a poem that made you pause for a moment, or a story where you suddenly felt like you understood someone's pain, or a novel character who felt so real you amongst forgot they are fictional. Today is not just entertainment. This is literature doing its work, connecting one human mind to another across time and space. Why literature still matters today? It is the most important question. Now, in the world of short videos, fast content, and constant scrolling, does literature still matter? The answer is yes, more than ever. Because literature slows us down. It forces us to think, to imagine, to feel deeply in a world that is becoming increasingly fast and distracted. Literature teaches empathy. When we read different voices, different cultures, different struggles, we stop seeing the world from only one point of view. We start seeing life as something larger than ourselves. Even today, literature is everywhere in film dialogues, in songs, in speeches, in social media captions that try to express something real. We may not always notice it, but we are constantly surrounded by storytelling. And that is because storytelling is not optional for humans, it is essential. And maybe that's why this podcast exists to remind us that words are not just academic tools, they are bridges between people, between ideas, between emotions we cannot always explain directly. So, to bring it all together, literature is not just something we study, it is something we live. It helps us to understand ourselves and it helps us understand others. And in doing so, it quietly shapes how we see the world. So, this is Beyond Swords with Shantopal, and this is episode 2, where we begin to truly understand what literature is and why it still matters. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep reading, keep thinking, and keep listening Beyond Swords with Shantopal. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. See you soon.